Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena and back to another historic video. I know it's been a while since we played some historic. We've been running on the Jumpstart and Cube train for a little while, but got to get back to our roots a little bit and check out the format as it currently stands with Time Warp Band. Has it changed? No, but you know what? We're going to keep playing it. Today we're going to be checking out a new list from the new Historic Anthology, based around the card Atarka's Command, red and green for an instant, saying your opponents can't gain life. You can deal 3 damage to each opponent, put a land from your hand onto the battlefield, or you can give creatures you control +1/+1 and reach until the end of the turn. The cards we're going to be, the options we're going to be using, because you can pick 2, are going to be the 3 damage and the 1/1. Most likely, if we're up against a life gain list, obviously that first one kind of takes a little bit of an effect. It's a really nice way of kind of skull cracking your opponent. So I've actually taken our Lumimancer burn list and tried to shape it into more of a Naya burn. I don't know whether or not this is actually where Atarka's Command belongs. Probably not. And if you haven't yet checked out the original Lumimancer burn, be sure to go do that. I posted it not too long ago, I don't think. Built around Clever Lumimancer, the 1-mana 0/1. I absolutely love this card. I think it's very busted and maybe doesn't get the respect it deserves, and when it doesn't, you win the game. It says whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, and Lumimancer gets +2/+2 until the end of the turn. So the more spells we cast on a single turn, the absolute better it is for us. The same kind of goes for Soulscar Mage, which has Prowess, giving us +1/+1 whenever you cast a non-creature spell. Also has an alternative destroy effect as well. Any damage that's based off a non-creature based damage is dealt in -1/-1 counters onto creatures, so we can get rid of indestructible cards just by burning them while the Soulscar Mage is out. It does mean that Pillar of Flame, which exiles instead when a creature dies, is actually replaced by Soulscar Mage, which is kind of annoying, because Pillar of Flame is really good against the Phoenix matchup right now. Dealing 2 damage to a Phoenix and then exiling it instead is pretty useful. We do also get access to the Mystical Archives as well with Lightning Helix. This was the reason why we played Lumimancer Burn in the first place, because it is an absolutely absurd card and negates basically the shock lands that you use to get it into play, which is lovely. 3 damage to any target, gaining 3 life is a pretty absurd swing. Allows you to race the mirror as well a little bit better, because you can afford to take more damage to the face if you've gained more life. I think most of the deck really just kind of explains itself. It's mono red with white and also with green now. We have Burning Tree Emissary as well. This allows us to up the creature count a little bit on the Atarka's Command, because that's kind of the important part. The one thing I changed from the Lumimancer burn list is that we now have a few more creatures in the list. I think we've got 19. Yes, we do. 19 creatures. I think it's only like 16 creatures we had before, but they were all a little bit more dedicated to the 1-drop slot. Burning Tree enters and basically becomes a free card. So we can play all the Burning Tree emissaries we want. You can even get us green mana if we play it for double red, so you can fix our mana that way, and then allow us to Atarka's Command into it. The more creatures we have in play, the better this card it becomes, and hopefully you'll see that in today's gameplay. And if you do watch today's gameplay and you do enjoy it, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe as usual, and I'll see you all in the games. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty then, we're in, and we only actually have green mana through Burning Tree, but we have turn 1 Lumimancer anyway, and we can... Well, we can't quite trigger Light Up the Stage unless we go for Atarka's Command on 3 with the Burning Tree. It's a bit of a weird one, but I'm going to take it. I'm sure we can draw a card that, you know, makes this hand work a lot better. Since this is a 0/1, it means that, it doesn't technically deal damage, and we can't trigger the Spectacle that way. So I'm going to go with the Inspiring Vantage and Lumimancer to lead. If we draw... Well, we drew a Shock, so we can do Light Up the Stage. Guess that's where we want to be. Like, we can play pretty much anything we draw from light up the stage next turn, since we'll have 3 mana to work with. And if I can get a green land as well, just to, like, really solidify my mana base, I think that'd be okay. So I want to stick this on red, light up the stage pre-combat to trigger Lumimancer up to 4. Beautiful. Honestly, that works for me. Burning Tree, into play with a Stomping Ground ready for an Atarka's command. Faithless Haven for our opponent, and Dust Legion Zealot taking 1. Alright. It is an easy block for them, but it's also just kind of an easy play for me as well. Because we get to go... We're not going to be casting Atarka's command here, I don't think, since our opponent can just block. So we're going to go Burning Tree, Pillar, tap Stomping Ground. And we get good use out of the Pillar of Flame and the excess mana that we had available. This thing doesn't give haste on the creatures that it pumps, so we want to wait until Burning Trees are ready to go before we fire that one off. And then that's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 with Atarka's command if our opponent has no blockers and no removal. Which, you know, isn't likely to happen, but I'm sure we can use our 2 spare mana here effectively off of a top deck, short of it being a land. But decent odds that it's not a land. Ah, gifted Aetherborn. And it was a land. Dang it. Oh, your opponents can't gain life this turn. That is technically relevant. So we do can't gain life. And then the plus. I think that's the line. It's going to have to be. I need to get rid of the Gifted Aetherborn. It can't stick around because our opponent's never going to attack with it, so it's always going to be a blocking threat. And while they don't have black mana open, I think I'll take that opportunity. So, opponents can't gain life. And then we want the +1/+1. That means Lumimancer takes the Aetherborn off. We've got 2 2/2s remaining. It's 3 to put this into hand, so we can't do that. So tap Sacred Foundry. We might need a little help crossing the finish line here if our opponent has another Aetherborn. But short of them gaining a lot of life, yeah, that doesn't really help them too much. And Atarka's command's still a win. More lands, however. Alright. I mean, we swing, they double block, they trade a knight for a Burning Tree. That's got to be what we have to do here, I think. Ooh, I like the double single block if you want to do that. They don't. I didn't think they would. Why would you want me to hit the 1/3 over the 1/2 that dies? That was very odd, Magic the Gathering. If I was a betting man, I'd say you'd had it out against me on that little line of play. Okay, so Lurrus can come down, can get me a Burning Tree out of my graveyard, so that I can, well, do nothing. Okay. Still gonna win off an Atarka's command. Win off of a Shock, a Pillar of Flame, a Helix, Wizard's Lightning. Just about every single card in my deck wins me the game here. Fatal Push. Okay. Do they dare hit me for 1? Probably now they've got a knight. Come on, top deck. Well, that doesn't quite win me the game. It could. It certainly could. So let's go Beaumont Courier. Swing for 1. Our opponent will have to block, of course. And then I might as well sack to draw the card that's under it. Card is a Helix, and that's the game. Fantastic. Woo! Flooded out a little bit for a 19 land deck, but we got there. We certainly got there, and on to the next one. Alright, we're in. It's a pretty decent hand. It's a little low on creatures, but the one creature we do have is a Lumimancer with Pillar of Flame and Helix and Wizard's Lightning to back it up. Atarka's Command, maybe not so much. I mean, we can cast it, but it's really... Its power lies mostly in the fact that it can pump up all the creatures as we go. But you never know. Maybe the life gain's relevant here as well. Say hello to our opponent. Another mono-black matchup. If a non-token creature would die, exile it instead. Well, screw my Lurrus, I guess. Should I just kill it? Maybe I should just kill it. I'm going to feel awful if I play a Lumimancer and they just Fatal Push. But if they don't, then I get Lumimancer kill with Pillar of Flame. Plus maybe even Helix if I need the double kill. There's a punish here, but there's also a really nice payoff, and I don't know which one's worth. Which one's worth it? Like, they got to 21, that's not too bad. The amount of damage we're going to be pumping out. Okay. So, I can't really set up a decent combat trick here, because I think they're always going to block. They're always going to force an answer out of me. So I could just, like, Pillar of Flame, the Zealot, shock in and play Wizard's Lightning on Valentin. I just don't know whether or not it's even worth dedicating that much damage to it. When I can point another 3 at my opponent and hit them for 5 for 1 mana. Yeah, I kind of think that I just say, screw you, Valentin, I'm going home. Alright. Pump to 13. I might regret it, but we have 2 Helixes. So it's not the end of the world. I'm certainly pumping out more damage than they're gaining by quite a long margin there. So what would I love to see? I think mostly just more creatures. There's Gifted Aetherborn. All the Death Touch and Lifelinkers. Oh, you hate to see it. Yeah, that's a problem. So I can't really block the Valentin. I think I'll stick this on green. Potentially I double Atarka's Command on a specific turn. Yeah, just don't really see myself blocking any of these with Lumimancer necessarily. I'm left with nothing once I start killing it. This is really awful for me. Everything has lifelink against my burn deck. Now everything gets lightning helixed. Well then. I can foresee them sacking to push here, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm going to have to Atarka's Command in order to stop them from gaining life by the looks of it. But where to from there? Give it Death Touch and Lifelink, sure. Let's see if they attack me. Yeah, so I could just do, like, you don't gain life. I'm not blocking Aetherborn. So I'll do 3 damage to each opponent. That seems reasonable. Knight of the Ebon Legion. Let's get this on red. Three, 6, 9. There's no way they don't block. So if I Helix the Vampire of the Dire Moon, I can Atarka's Command to kill the Knight of the Ebon Legion. But then I lose my ability to stop them from gaining life. And I need to do 2 spells here in order to get through the Knight of the Ebon Legion. It's just an impossible scenario with 1 creature. I can't let them gain life, so I can't use this. The Helix doesn't get me far enough. I guess my plan is basically Helix Gifted Aetherborn. And there's no top deck I can get with an Atarka's Command and a Helix that wins me the game. So I think we just hold it. Potentially try to get Knight of the Ebon Legion to do some pumping. No, I'm not sure. So they want to gain 2 here. I'll let them gain 2. Another Knight. Okay. And then last Vampire. If it's the card draw Vampire, I'm out. Okay, I am out. I don't believe I can win, although let me just check what their life total is. It's 8. Huh. Maybe there's a world I win here. Actually. I'll see it out as to figure out what my last card is. Because this is 3, this is 6. I just need a 2 damage burn spell off the top. Or better. Veto Thorn of the Dust Rose. Sure. So, 3 damage to each opponent. Opponents can't gain life. Sure. That does not do it. Alright, so we lose. That's a shame. Like, they give lifelink to Veto. I think we had to go for it there, but there's really no other out, so we had to have a burn spell. So, 3 Pillar of Flames, 2 Shocks, 2 Lightning Helixes, 2 Atarka's Commands, 3 Wizard's Lightnings. Any of those would have been a win. But we had to draw the wrong one, so on to the next game. Alright, opponent goes first. We've got a 2-lander, 3 creatures, and an Atarka's Command. I'm totally fine with this one. I think we're leading off with Lumamancer first. So we can get that Pillar of Flame in the graveyard. Oh no, not Botanical Sanctum. Hopefully it's a combo deck. We'll easily beat a combo deck, but if it's like Simic Flash, then we don't stand a chance. That's Simic Flash for you. Alright, well, let's get this on white. Play Bomat Courier. See if it resolves. We can play around the counter unless you pay 1, which is kind of nice. And I think I might just set up Lava Runner, because then we could do Pillar of Flame, Wizard's Lightning. So let's get in with Bomat Courier first, just in case they flash a creature. We'll want to have our Lightning ready to go at that point. I guess for that reason, you actually get in with the Lumamancer. Just going to go with a Growth Spiral. Because if you assume they flash a creature and you want to kill it, then you can do that. That could have been a Spectral Sailor, I guess. We know they have no 1-mana blue spells in hand, because that resolved way too quickly, so no Opts, no Spell Pierces, nattin'. Alright, in comes the squad. I can trade into a Night Pack Ambusher if that's what our opponent is playing. Just gonna go for the Atarka's Command here, 3 damage, pump. So they can take a lot of damage here and then ambush if they really want to. Wow. No. We'll play a Lumamancer. I'm assuming that's rewinded to Night Pack Ambusher. Double rewind. Love it when our opponent plays free spells against us and also increases their tempo by playing Night Pack Ambusher. God, I love Simic tempo. It's so fun not playing the game. Alright. So, Pillar of Flame. Who wants to bets on this not resolving? Wizard's Lightning. We can play around Censor, that's about it. Otherwise we're punished and we go on to the next game. Well, I'm gonna get punished for another Night Pack Ambusher, so I'm just gonna get in with the Lumomancer here. Not offer a trade and a bad block. Oh, I hate this deck so much. Okay, Lumomancer. Flashy and Brazen Borrower. When did tempo become a thing? It's been pretty much all I've seen today. And it's just an utterly miserable experience from start to finish every single time without fail. I think we're just going to go Helix the 2-2. We're going to assume they don't have a Night Pack Ambusher. If they do, we scoop. But I'm literally one bad thing happening away from scooping at all times against this deck, so let's just play to assume that everything goes right for me instead. Cunning Spellbonder. Or Nightbonder, whatever. I mean, the Courier's a free block, I guess. They take 4. We draw a haste creature and a Soulscar Mage. So you cheapen flash spells, right? Yeah, and make them uncounterable. The uncounterable's not that big of a deal, but everything else is a little bit. Would love an answer to the Nightbonder. We know they, unless they drew off the top, they don't have the Night Pack Ambusher. Definitely have a flash creature here. That is the biggest telegraph I've ever witnessed. Although, that resolved very quickly. As did that. Guess that means we're getting in for 4. Playing Soulscar Mage. This is a surprise. The counters deck ran out of counters and out of flash creatures, but they decided to attack me anyway, and beautiful. Alright, so we played this. They can't help themselves but counter it if they have one. They have something now. They saw it coming. However, did they see this coming? Blocks? Do you want to block me? 3 damage, +1/+1. Did this miserable experience end? Yay! It ended, and it ended in my favor. Oh god. Can we just ban the archetype of Flash? It's such a miserable experience. I just really wish we could. But you know what? Some people enjoy it. And I will admit, if you are the person piloting the deck when it goes well, it is a lot of fun to play. But it's just a one-sided experience. It's never fun to play against tempo. At least you can have some good back and forth against a lot of other archetypes, but this one's just is zero-sum. You just do not. It's one person has fun and the other does not. So if the Flash player loses, it's because they whiffed and didn't play. And if they win, it's because you countered everything and your opponent never got to resolve a card. So it's kind of like one or the other. We won, and I'm still thinking this is a miserable game. Is what it is. On to the next one. Alrighty then, we play first. We've got Bomat into Burning Tree, No green mana for Atarka's command unless we use the Burning Tree Emissary's mana though. So it's going to be a little bit spooky. Perhaps we consider actually going Bomat into light up the stage to set it up a little bit better. Because if we don't find that green, we're going to be in trouble. Alright. Snow-covered forest and Llanowar elves. Alright, so that's kind of like a very easy Pillar of Flame for me. We can mana screw our opponent potentially. Keep them off the turn to Elvish Archdruid. And go for a light up the stage, I think. So, light up the stage. Grab Vantage and Courier. This is the last time we can play the fast lands without them going to play tapped. Okay, Wizard's Lightning. So, you're a Shaman, which means I can't use you to get the Wizard's Lightning to cost 1 mana. So I have to Wizard's Lightning the War Master here, because I can't have them going wide. It's like really bad for us. So I'll lose the Bomat Courier for this, but I think it's worth it in the long term. In for another 1. And we'll consider Emissary Atarka command, because, well, next turn we might have an empty hand, so... Looks like we're going to have an empty hand. So we go Sacred Foundry, untapped, Burning Tree Emissary. I just really wish we had green mana, because then we could do this during combat, but now we have to go and do it pre-combat just to keep our opponent from trading off and doing weird things. So we can do 3 damage and +1/+1. That means that they won't actually attack into it. Although I should have played this pre-combat because I'm an idiot. However, actually, maybe it's not so punished. Like, opponent might want to actually block here because then we lose the 4 cards and that's really important. As it stands though, what we can do instead is we can hit our opponent for 2. Sack Bomat Courier and try and find a burn spell for the Archdruid. We didn't manage to get it. But we got a Lumamancer and a Soulscar Mage. And 2 lands in our 19-card land deck. Just keep repeating that over and over again because it blows my mind as well. Faithless Haven, Clan Caller. Alright. Oof. It's not a good draw for us. We could try and pretend to have answers here. If we get in the Burning Tree Emissary and they don't block, it's 2 free damage, which is quite nice. If I play any of these creatures, I'm going to lose that kind of priority. And then we do Lurrus, Soulscar. Gives us Bomat Courier out of the yard. So, hold it during combat. And then we go. Hopefully that's a bluff that our opponent will not block into. Wicked. Alright, so Lurrus, Soulscar. Got a pretty nice board set up for prowess triggers though. So if we can just get like a spell that's good, that'd be really nice. Opponent can activate the Shepherd and hit me for 10 with the Clan Callers, but that would mostly tap them out and potentially present lethal. Actually, it's exactly enough to keep us back. This has the most damage potential, so I'm going to blow with the Soulscar Mage, take 7. Atarka's Command. So we go down to 5. Play Bomat Courier. Yeah, Lurrus. Bomat Courier, and then Atarka's Command 7, plus a block, 654, 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah, we've won the game here if our opponent doesn't have anything. Okay, what do you do? Very close game. I imagine we've got it. 3 damage to face, +1/+1. No blocks as well, so mega dead. Ooh wee. Would have liked a little bit more burn to hit our opponent there. Like, the Lord's got very close to killing me. Like, if we had just removed the Archdruid, then the Shepherd wouldn't have been a problem. I guess, honestly, the Archdruid being alive got them cocky enough to attack me into a losing position, so maybe I am grateful that I didn't have the removal for it, after all. And the Atarka's Command was certainly a really good draw for us there. I'm trying to think if any other cards would have been just sufficient. Command excluded. I guess without the +1/+1 here, if they didn't block a 3 damage burn spell, would have been exactly lethal. So, yeah, pretty good. On to the next one. Alright, we're in on the draw. 3 creatures and a burn spell, and 3 lands. Perfect mana. We're going to keep this one. So we can go Vantage, Soul Scar, I think. Then next turn, Vantage, Runner, or Runner Shock. Anything to get more creatures on the board for an Atarka's Command top deck, I think, is really where we're looking to be. Opponent with Sulphur Falls, Burning Tree Emissaries, not bad at all. So yeah, we're going to go Soul Scar here. And looks like we're up against Phoenix, so Pillar of Flame. Oof. Well, we've got... We can do Burning Tree, Lava Runner, Courier. On an Opts, okay. To the top, you hate to see it. Lava Runner, Courier. I'm hoping by going wide that we invalidate our opponent's single target removal spells, but I doubt that'll be the case. Phoenix is a very consistent deck that seems to not really struggle too much. Strategic Planning, is that new tech? I don't see that one too often. And Blitz of the Thunder Raptor as well. Oh, here we go. So, I can give haste to the Lava Runner by shocking in, going Shock and Atarka's Command, but that doesn't let me get the other Lava Runner into play. So there's no way this Lava Runner's getting involved with an Atarka's Command in a meaningful way. So I think I'll just go Shock Command. Let's send it first. I also, if our opponent like killed our Bomat Courier here, might end up just like sacking it to draw the 2 over the Lava Runner. If they've got a Shock, it makes mostly no difference to me, I don't think. So 3 damage, +1/+1. So if they have it, this is where they use it. They're going to go for a Brainstorm, so max damage here, really nice. Lava Runner becoming a 2/2, and this hits the graveyard as well. So big damage for us, putting our opponent to 6. They don't have many... Oh, they don't have any ways of protecting their own face, as far as I'm aware. So they have to answer the board, and then they also have to answer my top decks. All the while trying to further their game plan, which they seem to have failed with. Going after my Bomat Courier, I think, is definitely correct. Well, they had it all. Lumamancer. Alright, so we put them to 2 here with the Lava Runner. Might as well just play the Lumamancer, so they have an extra threat on board. And they have to answer the entire board now. No Phoenixes threatening me in the graveyard. Means no blockers. Or very unlikely blockers unless they can instigate it right now. I guess that means they've run out of removal. I mean, they did go through 2 Pillar of Flames, a Blitz, and another pillar. So I'm assuming they've got 3 to 4 pillars, so there's maybe one left in the deck for them. Blitz is kind of a bit of a niche card, so I imagine that'd be a 1 or 2 of. And I think they run Shocks. Not quite sure. Either way, managed to run them out of removal, I guess, and still get them down to 0, which is pretty sweet. Alright guys, well that is gonna do it for today's video. My overall verdict on this deck is a bit of a mixed bag, honestly. I think Atarka's command in like a Boros burn deck that splashes green is probably not the place for it. Obviously, the Gruul matchup probably still wants this card. You know, the actual Gruul matchup with Pelt Collectors and the Hexproof guys and things like that. Definitely wants Atarka's command. I could also see this maybe in a Cavalcade list. I haven't seen that in a long time either, but you get your Cavalcade triggers and then you pump them +1/+1. That could work out quite a fair bit. But yeah, I don't know if Naya Burn's really the home for Atarka's commands, but yeah, if you do want to play like a burn list like this, or an aggro list, I would recommend checking out my Lumamancer burn list on the YouTubes. If you go down my videos, you'll probably find it, or I'll leave it as a card somewhere along the lines in the top right. That's probably better suited to the ranked queues at the least. It seemed to be pretty good back when I played it, and I can't imagine too much has changed since then. But yeah, that's essentially going to do it for today's video, and if you did enjoy, I would really appreciate if you do hit that like button and subscribe for more content in the future. Check out my other content if you haven't yet done so, that also helps out the channel. And yeah, take care guys, and have a wonderful day.